Class 3, 1200 metres for race number 6. Here's the lineup. We've got Beauty Charge lining up here for Tony Cruz at the top with Luke Ferraris. He is second up for the season. Party Warrior, Keith Young and Francis Lloyd. Cape Breton is up for his third run of the season. Bundle of Charm is resuming off a little freshen up, has trialled well. Not Usual Stars, a newcomer. He was Yulong Code with Peter Moody, and Capital Legend was trained in Australia by John Sadler prior to arriving. Like that, therefore, Derek Long. Beauty Turn, another newcomer in the race for Pierre Ung, and he raced overseas in Australia also, did Beauty Turn. You know, Pulsar Strider there. Stoicism, Dream Pursuer, another newcomer in the race for Zach Purton and Manfred Mann. He did have a couple of runs in Australia prior to arriving, and further down Dragon Delight. Let's have a look at the speed map for this sixth event on the program, and as we see them go from the start here, Nick, Beauty Turn has shown a bit of pace from what we've seen of him overseas. He led all of the way to a win there in Australia. What about him here first up?
Yeah, well, look, he's shown pace in that trial too, hasn't he? Last time out when running fourth, so he's more than likely to go forward. He's drawn gate number 3 as well, so he'll find himself in a really good spot. Pulsar Strider could be an interesting one. They actually went forward with him, or closer to the pace last time out when he drew gate 6. He's in 8, so he'll come across 1 or 2, but they were prominent with him. And Bundle of Charm, now he could be the interesting one because he's drawn 1 and he has shown speed in the past, and just recently he hasn't been as far forward, but I reckon he might be this time, Paul.
Yeah, I agree. I think they'll make use of that draw after the freshen up, and look, he's an alternative leader as well. I think Capital Legend will have to go back from his wide draw.
Rightio, so that is the speed for race number 6. Horse that ran very well first up here in Hong Kong was Cape Breton. We can hear from his jockey, and that is Antoine Hamlin. He spoke to Nick down at the track on Friday morning.
Antoine Hamlin, Cape Breton is one of your rides this weekend, and that was a really impressive debut performance from him, Antoine.
Yeah, a bit surprised for the first day with him. We decided to ride him quietly, and he gave me a very nice, strong finish. So I was very, very happy about this performance. I hope he will repeat it.
Absolutely. I mean, he was a huge price, of course, on that occasion. And did he sort of surprise you with the manner in which he sort of travelled and finished off, or had you and the team sort of fully expected that?
I don't have the luck to ride him in the morning, so I don't even really know how is it. But because of the draw last time, we decided to ride him quietly. This time we have a better draw, small field, so I guess if we can be midfield with the same finish, he can be very competitive.
Given that he's won a couple of times over 14 in Australia, as you say, he has got a better draw. Do you think perhaps he is a horse that could be ridden that bit more positively? Yeah,
no, I will not say very positive, but just a little bit more positive than last time should be enough to finish a bit closer.
He is a 4-year-old. Obviously, there's always plenty of hype around the 4-year-olds. I mean, he's obviously got a little bit still to go, but he's arrived on a decent sort of mark. Do you think he's the type that might be able to mix it with some of the better ones?
Yeah, I think 12 suits him well. Maybe his kind of sauce need to be off the pace a bit, and that's what he need to finish strongly. He made it really well last time on 12, so I will say stick on it.
He just looks a really nice improver, doesn't he, I suppose, if he can build on that debut performance?
Yeah, exactly, and I'm pretty sure he improved a lot on the last race. He gets some confidence for sure, so let's see what he can do.
Yeah, so it was a good, strong performance there from that horse on debut, Paul. But did he get the speed to suit in that race with all that pace up front? Did that maybe flatter him a little?
He did get the pace to suit, I think. He was a big price, so there was no support from early, 87 to 1. 86 to 1. There won't be that coming up on Sunday. Second up, he'll be fitter, but he did win over 1,400 metres overseas.
Yeah, and I think having spoke to Antoine, it seemed as if their plan would be to try and be that bit more prominent on him. So maybe they'll just try and take a little bit of bad luck out of the equation.
OK, so that's the verdict from the gents there on at Cape Breton. We can move on to a Beauty Charge now. He's only had one run this campaign, Nick, and he ran 9th. He was beaten 5 3/4. He looked a little one pace there, I thought, but I didn't think the trial was all that bad.
No, not at all. 4th here around Happy Valley. I thought, look, he's closed off OK. I think coming back in trip might just suit him here. I mean, he did win second up when beating Smart Idea last season. That was over 1,200 metres, Paul.
Yeah, exactly. He's just got to carry the weight. He's got the top weight here of 133, hasn't he, to carry from barrier 7. So we'll see if he can get a nice run from there.
Yep, Luke Ferraris riding there for Tony Cruz. So we can now have a look at Bundle of Charm. Now, here he is on the far side in this barrier trial. Paul, he sort of went off the boil a little bit in his last couple of runs. What about the weight gain as well? He's put on 20 pounds.
Yeah, look, he looks okay for that weight gain, I thought. As you say, they rate him a little bit further back in this particular trial, but from barrier 1 I think they'll be positive. And when he did win his race, he led all the way and he won impressively.
He did, and I think maybe coming back to Sha Tin's going to suit as well. I mean, his run at Happy Valley wasn't the worst, but he does seemingly look better suited here.
There are a number of newcomers in this race as well, and one of them is Beauty Turn, as well as Not Usual Star. First of all, and Not Usual Star, he's coming into with us here with the hood and the tongue tie on. He's had a fetlock injury since arriving. Nicky won 4 races from 13 starts with Peter Moody.
Yeah, 12 and 1300 metres. Look, I thought this trial was okay. He's done this quite nicely. Won a couple over in Chung Fa as well. And he's actually a half-brother Paul to Quick Thinker, who was a handy horse.
Yeah, well, very good horse. So 1,047 pounds from barrier number 2. I'm going to include him because I haven't minded his trial there.
Yeah, son of Zoo Star, so he looks interesting here. He's had 4 trials in total. 3 of them have been up at Chung Fa. We can look at Capital Legend now, another newcomer, a 4-year-old by Capitalist here, Nick, out of a Tavistock mare. Ran 4th in the Carbine Club Stakes at Flemington prior to arriving. Another one that's had issues with a suspensory injury.
He has, yeah, and also actually going through his record in Australia, he also had a suspensory injury there after his debut, so maybe just tread a little bit carefully with him. But look, his trials have been okay, but I'd sooner just watch him go round first time, Paul.
Yeah, also from that wide draw, just worries me a little bit. He's got barrier number 12, so a little bit tricky. And he's still a maiden. It's 4 races in Australia. His best, he did run second at Moonee Valley and then ran 4th in that Group 3 race, but hasn't yet to win yet.
Yeah, all of his trials up at Chung Fa as well for Casper Founds and Vincent. Who I referenced Beauty Turn before, who's lining up from the Pierunga barn, and here he is leading all of this all the way in the trial here, Paul, and looked okay. Wasn't really asked for too much in the straight, I thought.
No, and look, when he did win, he was called Yulong Code, as you said earlier on. When he did win in Australia, he went straight to the front. He's by Star Turn. We've seen that progeny do quite well up here. And we'll go to the front here as well. Look, he didn't quite make it in for me, but he was on the cusp. I looked at him.
Yeah, look, he's obviously of interest, isn't he? His win at Barnsdale was very good. He wore blinkers on that occasion, wears a visor here, and just knocked up a little bit late in that trial. But again, he could be a nice horse for the future.
Yep, De Souza rides from barrier 3. De Souza had a great night on Wednesday night at Happy Valley with 3 winners. So one more to look at, and this is another newcomer by the name of Dream Pursuer for Manfred Mann and Zach Purton. Another one that's had injury since arriving, a right 4 humerus injury here. Nick won 2 races at Wangaratta and Bendigo. Yeah,
look, and he's been unraced here for a year, but you couldn't be more than pleased with this trial. He's jumped out well, nice and cleanly, travelled powerfully, and he's gone to the line really well. So, yeah, look, he's a very interesting horse, Paulie. I mean, he's a 5-year-old, and we know Manfred can produce one first up.
Yeah, and look, he's Zach Purton aboard as well, so there's some positives there about him. Another one I've included, I've liked his trials. They've been very patient with him.
Yeah, they have been. He was trained by Rod Simons prior to arriving. Now, here's a very loose-looking list of some of the 4-year-olds we've got here in Hong Kong where they're rated at. So there's a couple of pages here. Paul Keefe, of course, at the top. He's secured a place if he wants to go to the 4-year-old series, which I think they certainly are going to go with. But there's a few with question marks as well, and some we haven't seen yet also. Yeah,
exactly. And Keithie's got that magical 100, which you sort of seem to need to win like a derby. Apal, he's interesting because he ran really impressively 2 starts ago, a little bit disappointing, and Tuchel's on the comeback trail as well. He's been galloping well recently.
Yeah, one I didn't mind on that first page was Packing Treadmill. I think he's a lovely horse, but some of these a little bit further down have probably got a little bit to do, but we saw Gallant Waking run in the week and he acquitted himself well, and he might go up in trip again still.
Yeah, certainly. That was only a list of horses, basically 70 and above. There might have been a few missing there, but there's sort of a rough list of what's coming up in the next few weeks as we head towards the 4-year-old series, which kicks off at the end of January. OK, Paul, quite an interesting race. Number of newcomers. Do any make it into the top 4?
Yeah, 2 of them actually do make it into my top 4. I'm going to go with a horse called Pulsar Strider here. I just really liked his 2 runs to date. The second last time, he just got pipped on the line by Solar Winds. He did get the race run to suit, but you could see him tiring at the line. So I just wonder if with those 2 runs now he'll strip fitter. Bundle of Charm coming out of that good trial. Dream Pursuer, a trial winner, first starter here, as is Not Usual Talent. Not Usual Star, I should say. Not Usual Talent, did race here. 9, 4, 11 and 5 for me.
Yeah, I've gone the same form race as Paul there, but I've gone with the horse that ran 3rd, finishing off strongly. That's Cape Breton, who I think will certainly come on a bit like Pulsar Strider for racing. And I thought that was a really decent turn of foot that he showed to quicken up nicely. So they might just be a bit closer with him this time, and I think he's a really nice horse going forward. Pulsar Strider in for second. Look, he's certainly improved from first to second start, and he can improve again. I put Dream Pursuer in for third. Really liked his trials, and the fact that Zach rides him has got to be a plus. And the 4 Bundle of Charm in as well. I think returning to Sha Tin, good draw, will possibly lead, could suit him. 3, 9, 11, 4.
And Bundle of Charm has come up the early favourite in the bidding at 2.7 for John Size, his trainer.